Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video, we've got the most vital question for your B School and MBA interview prep by MBA. This is the core basis, right? Uh, Most interviews, or in fact, a high proportion of interviews, ask this question. They evaluate this question for obvious reasons: clarity of goals, program readiness, self awareness, alignment with the MBA. And at the end of the day, you are going to a B School seeking admission into an MBA course. So you should know the answer to why MBA. This question can also come across to you in a number of indirect manners, indirect fashions. It's not necessary that they'll ask you this question directly, right? In the virtue of, in the form of, say, asking you about your career goals, your growth aspirations, where do you see yourself, how does the future align for you, what kind of job roles are you looking forward to, what is it that post MBA you want to do, what is it that you want to achieve in life. If you think about it, right, and this is a foundational aspect of prep, right? So wherever you are, right, there are two distinct categories: either you are a fresher or you are a working professional, right? Those are the two categories that exist of people. uh, you can have a you're a fresher and a working professional with or without a gap, right? So again, this is optional. You might have a gap, you might not have a gap. You'll be stunned that every person falls in this categorization: fresher with gap, fresher without gap, working experience with gap, working experience without gap, now planning to do an MBA, right? So whatever your background is, whichever quadrant you fall under, literally, the reason for doing an MBA ultimately links up with the career you want, right? Or your career growth, or the career you want. So that basis is the same for each one of you. And hence this connection, that why, because from here you want to reach here, MBA lies in the middle. What role does it play? Having clarity for that, it actually answers all the questions for you, right? From your vision of life, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, short term goals, long term goals, what is it that you want to do, what is it that you want to achieve in life, how do you look at life, etc., etc. Everything. What role does a B school play here? How do you fit in a B school? What will you gain from a B school? What will you give to a B school? Everything revolves around having this understanding, that why do you want to be in that place, right? B school is a place, right? It's a physical location. You're going to turn up there. Why do you want to be there in that place in the first place? That relationship has to be figured out, and hence why MBA, according to me, this is the number one question. This is the question that requires the maximum amount of thinking, rumination, deep analytical thinking, strategically devising. This is what I want to say. You want to identify the fallout of every statement you have in this answer, so that you have absolute clarity that these are the pitfalls, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to communicate in a short, precise manner. That is what we've got to do. So let's get started. Let's understand what are the different core components, right? So your answer can have three core components. You will need obviously clarity of career goals, short-term, long-term aspirations, showcase how MBA bridges the gap between skills and future roles. Then you could also look at skill enhancement as a reason that you need to develop key management competencies, thinking, financial acumen, leadership, connect these skills to career goals. Again, career goals are not going to go away anywhere. And networking opportunities. What is it that how do you build professional networks through peer interactions, alumni, industry exposure? Again, for your career growth. So ultimately, at one point of time, everything that you do, right, is between your current skills, your future roles. You want to build your skills, you want to connect your long-term, short-term goals with your MBA degree, you want to network, etc., etc. All of these things, all of the different reasons that exist, they reflect or they connect with your long-term career goals. We look at each one of these individually in a lot of depth and detail, right? First is having a clarity of career goals. We'll define this as well in a so like we defined every individual, we'll define career goals as well, right? So your career goals are, it's your purpose, right? That why is it that you are doing your MBA journey? Ultimately, you need to have a successful career. First is career growth. You want to make progress and climb the corporate ladder. This can be for a fresher or an a person with existing work experience, right? Second is you want to pivot industries. For someone in already a working professional, he wants to shift from say one domain to the other. So for him, the goal is career transition, right? So career growth is the most basic one. Then, so career growth can be applicable to freshers as well as working professionals. Career transition if you want to shift. And the third one is those of you who want to develop some kind of ventures of their own, might be in the long term. In the short term, you might want to work in specific industries and build on your knowledge in those, and then have some kind of a vision for the future that this is what you want to do. So entrepreneurship ambition. So these are the different ambitions or goals that you could have with respect to your careers, right? Now, you've got to identify which out of these three is the category you fall into, and then tailor your responses accordingly. And you define your short-term and long-term goals according to those, right? So your short-term goals could be, I aim to transition from a technical role to a project management role. So this is career transition, right? Showing relevance to MBA curriculum as well. That's something that you do. The structured learning of finance and operations and MBA will prepare me for leadership roles in logistics management. So this is an answer which revolves around building of skills, right? So that's something that you can do. The first answer was mapping of your career goals, right? In this case, you wanted to transform your career. This is about enhancing your skills. We spoke about that as well, right? So career goals. That's how you attribute them to the MBA. Why MBA answer. Next part is it. MBA is obviously, at the end of the day, this is a professional degree which is going to enhance your skills, and it will give you skills such as leadership, problem solving, analytical thinking. And MBA is that gap, right, between your existing skills and the future ones you need. That's why you're doing it in the first place. Addressing skill gaps, right? Skill enhancement. How do you address those in an YMBA answer? While working as an analyst, I realize I need to work on my strategic decision making skills, and MBA will equip me with tools like data driven management techniques. Now, these skill gaps, you have to identify. This is just a generic example of it. You need to identify the skill gaps that exist in your profile, obviously, and then you build on that answer, right? Highlight the MBA's practical approach. The emphasis on case studies, group projects, internships allows me to apply theoretical concepts in real world scenarios, bridging my experience gap, right? So this is something that freshers can depend upon, right? Because they might have a gap in their experience. So something that you can use as freshers for enhancement of their skills. Freshers have a particular challenge, right? Because you've not, and a lot of you would come from, so unless and until you've done a BBA, you don't have a degree in business administration of any sorts, right? So there you could depend upon something like this for the skill enhancement portion of your answer, right? Third thing that an MBA offers you, it offers you networking opportunities, right? So it offers you the option of connecting with academics. It gives you the option of connecting with alumni networks, industry connections, gives you a lot of those opportunities, right? Throws you out there in the real world. So we use this as well in your answer. You can see that engaging with a cohort of diverse professionals will expose me to varied perspectives, collaborative skills, leverage from the institution's brand. A degree from this school enhances credibility, opens avenues in competitive sectors such as consulting and private equity, right? Again, the link here is to the kind of roles which are available. Now, I will have a caveat at the end of this, which I'll share with you. Networking opportunities it extends beyond academics, right? It's about building up the network, right? Of having those connections, right? If I look at these three reasons, and that's why I'll actually go back to all the slides, I'll do a quick revision of these. This is one where one answer which requires a little bit of time and thought and application. If I look at it, my career growth, career transition, and entrepreneurship ambition, right? That is the most critical part of the answer, right? And if I was in your position, the two major areas I would focus on is, I would focus on A, my clarity of career goals and how does an MBA help me in reaching from, for example, I'm at point A, I want to reach at point B. You should think of it as a journey, right? MBA is just helping you reach from your current state to your future state, right? So I'd like to correlate it with that, right? And second, what kind of skills it can provide me. The first two options, right? The first two paths, your career goals and your skills portion. If you look at them very, very carefully and closely, these are about you, right? It's about your career, your journey, your skill enhancement. How does it fit into your story, which makes them good choices to have, right? It's a good answer to have because it's personalized. It reflects on your personality. It reflects on your goals, ambitions. This is why you are doing an MBA. So this I would, as a listener of this answer, right, as an interviewer, I would prefer these, right? The networking opportunities bit is, it definitely exists. It's one of the reasons for doing an MBA, right? But this should be, in terms of your priority order, should be at the lowest. Only use it as a filler statement if your answer feels incomplete, because this is something which is applicable for every aspirant, right? And part of the reason of covering this in this slide is that a lot of us place this answer right at the start of our answers or make it the most important portion of our answers. You should not do that. I have included this as a core concept here for the fact that this is add-on information. This cannot be your core or primary reason for doing an MBA. Your core or primary reason is your career and your skill enhancement. So focus on those aspects. This is just additional information. It's not incorrect, but it can't be the sole reason, right? Because this is something that everyone is getting. It doesn't make you a unique candidate, and we want our uniqueness to shine through. How do you structure the answer? So let's go through the structure quickly for this answer. Let's structure one complete answer, right? You start off with a personal context, start up with what you've done, what you've experienced. With 3 years of experience in digital marketing, I spearheaded campaigns that boosted sales. By this, igniting my passion for dynamic e-commerce landscape. So we cleverly threw in a statistic, a fact as well, a sort of an achievement as well, right? So we want to show that we are a strong candidate. Set up the context. It just tells us that this is my context, this is the area where I want to head into. And now we align this context with MBA, right? So now the alignment parts happens. Your MBA's emphasis on digital innovation and partnerships with landing e-commerce firms aligns perfectly with my goal to drive strategic growth in the retail online platforms. So very specific to the given context of what I want to achieve and what is it that I'm looking for specifically from the MBA course. Now, the greater the specific details you offer, the better your answer becomes. It's as simple as that, because it shows the greater the amount of research you've done, the greater the research you've done, the greater the clarity you have, makes you a better candidate. Last part, to conclude it, right? You link your future aspirations. I'm eager to leverage the MBA's comprehensive curriculum to navigate the complexities of e-commerce management, aiming to lead transformative projects that enhance consumer experiences. So the complete answer now comes together, starting off with a strong introduction driven by a fact which is showcasing my strength, which is as in the candidate's strength. Then its connection with an MBA and what specific features of an MBA am I looking forward to, the skills that I'm looking forward to enhance, right? And the final connection, that what are my long-term career goals, how does an MBA help me reach there. So very, very specific, very, very tailored to the individual, and giving very specific pointers to the panel to discuss further. Now, in such a case, when you give such an answer, you can expect with certainty that the discussion is going to head in the e-commerce direction. Your knowledge of the industry, your knowledge of the different roles available, the kind of work that you've done, the kind of work you plan to do in the future. And it then becomes a very informed discussion, the kind of discussion such an individual will look forward to have, because he has clarity, he has knowledge, he wants to discuss this. This individual does not want to discuss random GK facts in the world, right? Or random things that he studied in his college syllabus 5 years back. If you can give this kind of direction to the interview, then you can be in control of the interview. Then you can be in control of the dialogue. Then you can be in control of the conversation, which is what we want in an interview. So this is how you structure your responses, and this is how you can build some very, very effective MBA answers. Right, so this concludes the structure portion, right? Let's now head over to the next section. So the next part of this particular video, we're going to take up a few sample answers and we'll try to form sample answers for different contexts, see what are some of the best why MBA answers that can be given, and you can take suitable pointers from these to create answers of your own. Remember, don't copy these answers, create genuine, authentic answers of your own. Use these as these are helpful guidelines essentially. So, for someone who's looking at career transition, right? So, with 3 years of experience as a software developer, I have developed technical expertise, lack strategic decision making. I aim to transition into project management, where I can bridge technical and business aspects. And MBA, with its focus on leadership and analytics, will equip me with the tools to manage cross-functional teams and drive product innovation. So this is for someone who's looking at career transition. For career growth, having worked in marketing for 5 years, I've honed my campaign management and customer engagement skills. However, to take on leadership roles, I need a deeper understanding of strategic planning, financial management. The MBA curriculum emphasizes on business strategy, case-based learning, aligns with my goals to lead a marketing division. So here the person has already worked in marketing for 5 years, has these specific skills, now wants to take up leadership roles, wants to learn new skills as well, right? So within your own domain, you should look at the new skills you can add, combination of those with your long-term goal of leading a marketing division. Still, there is no mention of any designation or post. Just that I want to lead the marketing division, or you can say leading marketing initiatives as well, if you want to be even more humble about it. For entrepreneurship, my long-term aspirations to establish an edtech startup, focusing on rural education, background in this consulting. I need to develop skills like venture financing, scaling operations, focus on MBA entrepreneurship coupled with its network will help me realize this vision. So you have specific skill sets. And I'll just give you a personal take here. When students prepare for YMBA and they have entrepreneurship as one of the reasons, this is the reason that I'm most skeptical about. And this is my personal opinion about it. I'm not saying you should not use it if you truly want to be an entrepreneur and you think an MBA is the path for it. But you have to be ready for challenges in that case. People are going to ask for challenges. People are going to challenge your understanding of entrepreneurship. People are also going to challenge that why do you need an MBA in the first place? So the moment you give entrepreneurship as a reason for MBA, please be ready for this line of questioning where they'll give you all kinds of examples of people who've not done an MBA and are successful entrepreneurs. You'll find more such examples than ones of MBAs who are successful entrepreneurs. So make sure you do your research. And the part about that research is about having those examples. That's a small point. But the deeper part is you should look at specific skills like venture financing, scaling operations. What is it that the MBA is going to give for your particular operations, entrepreneurship operations? Otherwise, it just seems like gas, just empty gas, doesn't really land a punch. So if you want to pick this line of, if this is the line that you want to pick, this is the route that you want to be picked, be very, very specific and be ready for some very strong cross questions on this. So these are some of the answers that can be given. But one thing that was left out from these 3 answers was, what do freshers do? We've got to look at the perspective of poor freshers as well, right? They don't have any career to depend upon or any work experience. Career is a wrong word. I apologize for that, but they do not have any work experience to depend upon. So how do they cover that up, right? So help for you guys. So for someone who's looking to go into from engineering to business analytics, a lot of you would be. During my undergraduate studies in engineering, developed strong affinity for data analysis, applications in real-world problems. I realized that effective to leverage data, I need comprehensive understanding of business operations, management principles. Pursuing an MBA with specialization in business analytics will equip me with necessary skills to bridge the technical data analysis and strategic decision making. So if you can bring this kind of clarity, and this is obviously applicable for people who are looking to get into business analytics courses, MBA in business analytics, so you could use such an answer, right? And then in this case, the one caveat is you should have explored data analysis and you should have good knowledge of it. Then you can easily use this as a context. Now this is an example. You might have done any particular, you might have taken up any stream of engineering, you might want to head into specific streams of management or general management. Please bridge that gap with what you've done, what you've learned, where do you want to end up with. This is just an example, but this is how you bridge the gap from your existing knowledge to where you want to be. We'll take up 3 more such contexts because I think this is where a lot of you would need help, right? So for someone who wants to work in healthcare management sector, my bachelor's degree in life sciences has provided me a solid foundation. Generally I've seen a lot of people in the medical profession who want to shift. So for somebody who might have done a BDS and wanting to shift into management, my bachelor's in life sciences provided me a solid foundation, understanding the complexities of healthcare sector to address managerial challenges. I recognize need for robust business acumen. MBA has a focus on healthcare management will furnish with me critical skills in operations, finance, strategic planning specific to healthcare settings, preparing me to lead initiatives that improve healthcare delivery and patient outcomes. So you tailor it accordingly to your context. People, especially with those kinds of backgrounds in medical and medical related courses, wanting to switch over to business context, and these individuals might not have had specific, you might be a fresher as well, just completed say your BDS and you want to head into management. So this is the way you approach it, and this is how you use this information. For developing expertise in supply chain management, let's assume you've done industrial engineering. My undergraduate education in industrial engineering exposed me to fundamentals of production processes and logistics. Industrial engineering does have production courses. To excel in the field of supply chain management, I recognize the importance of advanced skills in areas such as procurement, inventory, this. Pursuing with concentration in will help me prepare to optimize supply chain operations and enhance organization efficiency. So that's what supply chain management will do. And you can link your industrial engineering to supply chain management. So you can see that there are specific use cases you can build. Obviously, you will need to work on it. It's not easy, but you can build those specific use cases, right? Now, someone from a commerce background, during my undergraduate studies in commerce, developed an understanding of accounting, business law, economics. Complementing economics, I interned at this firm where I assisted financial analysis, market research for clients. And the previous 3 examples as well, you can add your internships and projects as well. You might have done those. So what you learned from them, especially from a management perspective, you can add that. This experience illuminated the strategic challenges businesses face, sparked my interest in management consulting. To transition into a consulting role, I recognize the need to enhance my thinking, strategic thinking, leadership skills, global business acumen. Pursuing MBA with this will give me access to network, live projects, blah, 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 all the good things that we are searching for. This will help me bridge the gap between financial analysis and strategic implementation. So you have the complete background. This answer also has a reference to one's internship. Again, you talk about what you've learned, talk about any internship that you've done and the skills that you've learned. In total, the skills should be such which can be transferred to an MBA. You link those with what will you learn in the MBA and the direction you want to head into. You just want to give pointers for those. So if you do that, you have the complete answer for you. For freshers, a few pointers. Please make sure that you have, if you can, right? So as a first rule, you should always try to make sure that you can articulate the industry you want to enter, the MBA that you want to do, things that you want to take up, right? Any skill gaps that you have, identify those as well. If you have any specific skill gaps, so that you can identify those, you can fix those, align those with the program offerings, the research and the mention, the specific courses, specializations, etc. Demonstrate your long-term vision. This is what you want to go on. And finally, your personal reflections. The key thing is you've got to have that clarity. As freshers, try to see the skill gaps and the specific interests that fit into your story and align it with the program offerings and long-term goals. If you are able to do this, you will be able to build a very nice structured answer which will cover the whole spectrum, right? Now, the next thing that you've got to be careful is some common pitfalls for the why MBA answers, the things that everyone should avoid, right? Don't give generic statements or superficial goals like I want to enhance my career, next logical step, everyone in my field does MBA. No, have clear cut defined paths, right? In the short term, I aim to transition into project management role. Long term, I aspire to lead digital transformation initiatives, etc. Have clear-cut goals, not I want to enhance my career or it's the next logical step. Those are very, very vague statements. Avoid those at all costs. Again, don't focus on salary, don't focus on financial gains. In my experience, in the last 17 years, I've only seen a couple of individuals who've really been able to successfully pull it off. You need to have that kind of personality for pulling off this answer, where they've gone in with financial motivations and clearly stated that this is what my motivation is. But their overall profile then has, it links up, everything adds up. The financial motivations bit also is very well calculated and articulated, that this is what I will invest, this is what I will get, this is what I'm seeking for, this is where I'm already at, this is the ROI. The financial aspect, only mention money if you can really have that extreme detail, right? Otherwise, in 99.99% of the cases, don't mention salaries or that you are taking up MBA for increasing your salaries or the amount of money you earn, right? Focus on skill development, leaderships, etc., etc. Don't focus on the money bit. Next things, don't focus on specific titles, role. A lot of people do this. They say we want to be CEO in the next 10 years, my long-term goal is this, etc., etc. Never ever say that. Always focus in terms of skill acquisition, leadership growth, would you contribute, not in terms of titles. No titles should be mentioned, CFO, CEO, CTO, CEO, blah, 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 none. None of these words need to be mentioned. What do you say? I aim to develop holistic understanding of business operations, build cross-functional leadership capabilities, enabling me to lead impactful projects that drive organizational growth. Just this word, lead, is enough, more than enough. Nothing else is required, right? No titles are required. Next, your aspirations should not be misaligned, right? So if there is a program on sustainability, your aspirations should be aligned to sustainability, business analytics, so business analytics. If it's ABM, it has to be ABM. Your preferences have to be aligned with the program, with the MBA's purpose, specific program if it is. If it's a general management program, then the skills that you would gain from that and how does it align with your profile. That alignment is very, very important. That alignment with your value proposition and the value proposition that MBA offers, right? So these were all the things that we had to talk about, right? Obviously, introspection and articulation is super important, having that clarity. And we've already gone through the structures, we've gone through sample answers, alignment with career goals and program fit. Probably this is number one, this is number two, and self-awareness, obviously. These are the things that you take care of. And you build these clear, precise, beautiful answers for why MBA, where you showcase perfect clarity. That is what is required. And that is how you successfully deal with this particular question, the most important question in your MBA interview prep, right? Hopefully so. This video made a lot of sense. You learned some valuable pointers which you can apply to your framing of this particular answer. Thank you very much for watching this video and happy learning.